his father, he had gradually lost his hearing, and as a child, when Graham was growing up, he watched the pain and the frustration with his dad that came from it. The ache from that, it stayed with Graham. And he made a promise in his heart that he wanted to help fix ears. But that kind of work, it didn't happen quickly. It took years, it took decades. There were failures, there were dead ends, right? There were people who doubted whether it could ever even be done. But he kept kind of hovering over the problem. He stayed with it. He prayed through it. He carried that ache with hope instead of letting it become despair. And then one day, while he was on a beach, right, he was playing with a blade of grass and he had a curved shell. And as he stick in the blade of grass, he noticed it bent around the curve of the shell. And then he realized something. What if a device could follow the spiral shape of the inner ear? What if that design needed to move with the form of the cochlea? And that little simple insight, it helped lead towards this massive breakthrough. But that's not a story about science. It's a story about patience. It's a story about attention. It's a story about refusing to look away from brokenness. It's a story about hovering, right? A child sees his father suffer. Ache becomes a calling. This calling becomes a long obedience, and that long obedience, it becomes an invention, right? The invention becomes a way for light to break into someone else's darkness. So for me, as Tim brought up, I think this is a beautiful picture of human creativity under God. It was creativity as love paying attention, right? Creativity is hope that was refusing to leave. It was creativity as prayer joined with work. Creativity that stayed so near the problem long enough that it allowed the wisdom to emerge, right?